Hello everyone, today I will be going through the Mordor squad and most importantly the ability level order. So we have the 5 members of the squad and I'll be starting with Shagrat because he is the most important member of the team. So we'll start with the leader ability as it's quite important. It's the ability that feeds the turn meter when hitting Banes. So this is very important abilities and I'd get them as far as possible whenever you can. This will stack up very much and is definitely the most important one. Then after this ability on Shagrat, the splash of green, getting this to level 4 will be very important. You can stay at level 4, level 6 will be useful for the stamina cost reduced, but it is not as important as the level 4 ability with extra duration. This will be the same rule for almost all of the units, where Bane durations are very important. Next I'll go to the Filthy Blade. You can take the Filthy Blade to level 2 and it will be enough. Because you have a chance to inflict that bleed. I took it to level 4 to have a 100% chance. Level 6 is questionable if that's worth it, because it's only a single target Bane. Next we have the Final Order. This is the big hit. The most important one here is level 2, and then level 3 is quite important. Taking it further than that is just more damage, which is not the most important. Next we have the Orc of the Eye. This is not very important, except, well, the first level, but you just have to unlock that. So I'd not bother taking this one very far unless you have a surplus of gold. Next we'll go to Rockma, the second most important member of the squad. His basic inflicts Weaken. This is very important because Weaken is very strong. So I'd take him up to level 2, and then the rest of the levels are questionable, except level 6 for that extra duration, which is very strong for Weaken especially. Then we have Blasting Fire, level 4, and then level 6 are the more important ones. An extra duration of burning is extremely strong, since burning hits very hard already. Another turn of it will deal much more damage. Then we have the Putrid Gas. It's pretty much the same as the Blasting Fire one, but the level 4 ability is not as important. I'd take this one to level 2, and then the others here are just damage. You want this weak-minded though. It will help a lot against teams that are not Rohan, who remove that weak-minded very quickly. Then we have the Make Them Suffer. Getting this one to level 2, and then level 4 will be very strong. This deadly is quite strong, especially if you can get it on Ironhide when he does his big AoE. Anything with focus is very important for this guy. Then, next one, the third most important member is probably Gauss, or Grimlurts to help Shagrat, but most likely Gauss Ironhide. So, start with his basic. It's just damage. You want to get this ability as high as possible to get damage. Taste of Iron, level 2. Level 6 is also pretty good for the stamina reduce, but mostly level 2 for the dispel. And then we have Rampage, or Rampage. This one you want to get as high as possible for more damage. It's very powerful. And Child of Mordor. This is just more survivability, but because the enemies don't seem to target Ironhide quite often, it is not the most useful. Though it can be very useful if you end up in a solo situation, or in the end when you only have Ironhide left. It's that extra armor and survivability is very strong. Giant's Burden you can't really upgrade. Well, you can't upgrade at all. So the next one, Grimlurts, he's mostly here to make Shagrat more viable with his AoE, or turn it into an AoE. The Sheep Shot this is just damage, doesn't really matter. Evil Opportunity, you want to get him to level 2 for the counterattack. This is actually pretty strong and helps mostly with campaigns, so you can have a lot of turn meter when you go into the next wave. This has won me many campaign battles, especially the 4-9 normal. Then we have Savage Cut. Since this is still only single target, this one is it's at least level 2 for the bleed. But level 4, it's not the most expensive, and this extra duration is pretty useful. I haven't gotten this myself because I'm very ability material poor right now. You will want to get the level 6 for one unit that you can easily gain turn meter from. Below the belt, this one is just get advantage, which is useful, but not useful enough to bother spending extra gold on it unless you have a ton just laying around. And last we have Usan. He's not the most important, but I'd get his basic to level 2 at least. Level 4 is nice for 75% chance. Level 6 is very expensive, so I'd not bother getting him first, or him up first. I'd go Rockma first, and then probably Gauss Ironhide. Then we have a little motivation. This one, it isn't really that important, but I guess you could get him up as high as you can afford, really. It's not as important as some of the other ones. But yeah, these regenerations can be pretty useful. Then we have Forced March. This one is very important actually, especially if you can get it to level 6 for that extra concentration to drop the debuffs. Some people have said he's not the most important. I say he's very important for the squad, especially when you can get the concentration. Later on, Usan will be extremely important. And the healing, it makes you survive that initial burst of damage from the enemies. It can save your Grimlurts or Rockma from dying instantly. Then we have Mercy of Mordor, the most important ability in his kit. Get him to level 3 and then level 6 are the more important ones to have that higher chance of unbreakable. Other than that, these are not the most important block chance, but they're pretty useful if you manage to hit that 15%, which you often don't. And that is it for the turn or the ability level order for the Mordor team. I've been using these pretty successfully, but they are very ability level heavy, especially with all of those expensive level 6 abilities, especially on Rockma for the durations. Thank you.